Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is Force with some more Friday Night Magic, the very first episode of FNM with Duels 2015. I don't like this hand. I am running a white Weenie deck. This is the deck that I've been going through the campaign with. It's alright, it definitely needs quite a bit of tweaking, and there are some more cards. I've only unlocked I think 30% of the total cards available, so there's a bunch more cards that I need access to get this deck complete. But I think it's kind of fun. It's sort of a white rushdown deck that is focused on flyers as opposed to amassing a ton of ground creatures. So in that sense, it's a little less strong than the decks that do amass a ton of ground creatures, but it trades off some of that creature strength for the ability to fly, and that definitely is very, very beneficial. Alright, so we start off here with a Kite Sail Apprentice. I'll show you what that is in just a second. It's a 1/1 creature, and when I equip it, it's going to get +1/+1 and gain flying. And there's a few equipments that we're running in this deck, as well as equipment search. And then after that, we played a Raise the Alarm, which puts two 1/1 white soldier tokens into play. So now we've got three 1/1s in play. Our opponent is playing, at the very least, green-white. We're going to go with another Raise the Alarm this turn. First we'll attack, though. Move into the combat phase. And then swing for 3. So you may be wondering, why am I not putting this equipment on, or this enchantment on the Kite Sail Apprentice? It's because the Kite Sail Apprentice does not get pumped up from enchantments, only from equipments. So we can hold off on the Raise the Alarm until the end of our opponent's turn. And I think that's what we will do. And then we're going to be sitting at 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Next turn we'll be able to Seraph of the Masses, actually, which is kind of hilarious. I'll show you what that is in just one second. All right, he's going to play a Gladeheart. In response, we are going to Raise the Alarm. It's going to get us two 1/1s in play. So now we've got 5, 6, 7. We've got 5 creatures and 2 lands. That's going to let us play the Seraph of the Masses. Let me show you exactly what Seraph of the Masses is. This is kind of amazing. We get to play it with Convoke, which means we can tap creatures to replace one instance of its casting cost. And with that in mind, we can totally play this right now. Now, if I play this, that'll subtract 1, so that won't be enough. So yeah, I want to do this right now. So we are just going to do this. We're going to Seraph of the Masses. Just like that. Tapping everything we have, 5 creatures plus 2 lands for a total of 7 casting costs to cast Seraph of the Masses. And Seraph of the Masses, it's a flying creature, and its power and toughness is equal to the number of creatures you control. So this is sort of a part of the theme in this deck, is that I swarm the board with a lot of small creatures, and then Seraph of the Masses, and I get a huge flyer in play. And that's just basically one of the few combos that are in this deck. Been a little mana screwed so far, unfortunately, sitting with only 2 lands. And the Grazing Gladeheart that he played makes it that whenever a land comes into play under his control, he's going to gain some life. His big problem right now, though, is can he deal with a huge flyer? A huge flyer that's only going to get bigger, actually. Quite a bit bigger. Probably going to play the Wall of Omens next turn. This will give us a creature in play, which will pump her up, but it'll also give us card draw, which means hopefully we'll draw into a land. And looks like there's nothing else for him to do this turn. Alright, yeah, so we're at a Wall of the Omens prior to combat. Creature comes in play. This becomes a 7/7, plus we get the card draw. Holy hell. Talk about screwed. We are, this is kind of crazy. We are super mana screwed. 2 lands this far into the game is kind of ridiculous. Okay, so we could play the other Seraph, but that is going to require us to tap all of our creatures. I'd rather hit him for 7 right now, or this means I hit him for an extra next turn. Maybe I should just play the other Seraph. I could hit him for 7 now, or next turn I can... Yeah, how about we're going to play the Seraph right now. Second Seraph. So this means I'm not hitting him with this 7/7 this turn. However, next turn I can hit him for 16 in the air. So I'm trading 7 damage right now for 16 damage next turn. It would have been 7... I guess actually in total I would have gotten the same across. So, oh, and that's exactly why. Oh well, he Angelic Edict, which exiles target creature enchantment, so he got rid of one of my 2 Seraphs, but I still have the other one at least. I just can't believe how screwed we were. We're gonna play an Attendant Knight. This is going to give us 2 creatures in play, which will pump her up to a 9/9. So the Attendant Knight comes into play. He's a 2/2 for strike, plus he summons a 1/1 creature. And we're gonna hit for 9. And that's it. I don't want to hit with these guys at the moment. Once we're gonna play this next turn, pump them all up, and swing for the victory next turn. Selfless Cathar, it's a 1/1, and I can tap 2 and sack it to pump up all my other creatures +1/+1. And that will give us, unless he like clears our board right now, it's gonna give us the victory next turn. Ooh, so he's gonna make his guy 7/7 flyer. Well, that's not enough. He is still screwed. He's gonna save that for blocking, obviously. Unless he plays another creature to... Yeah, he's screwed. Alright, actually we can just play this to pump up all of our guys 1/1 and we won't have to sacrifice this. And this will be permanent too. So we're gonna play the Hall of Triumph. Alright. It's a legendary artifact. When it comes into play, you choose a color, and then all creatures you control of that color get pumped up +1/+1. And then we will swing with everything. Got a 10/10 flyer. We've got 4 2/2s, a 3/3, a 2/2. Kenny, realizing it's GG, leaves the game. What is this, actually? Okay, that's fine. Oh, actually, that gives him lifelink. Oh, so he's not dead. That's hilarious. The real player left the game thinking it was GG, and he's not quite dead. I mean, he's dead soon. He's dead next turn, but he didn't die that. Oh, look at that. Okay, boy, oh boy. The AI doing more work than the real player was. Oh, poor Kenny. How embarrassing. All right, we're gonna selfless Cathar. And then we'll move into combat phase, and now we will secure the victory. Sacrifice this. Pump up all of our creatures. So we get the 9/9 flyer, 4 2/2s, that 2/2, that 2/2. He's gonna block one of them, lets the rest go through. Game number 1. And now on to game number 2. Let's take a look at this opening hand. It's really not amazing. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen because we've got the card draw with that, but I'm gonna draw a new hand. I'd like to see something a little better. 2 Mentor of the Meeks makes me very happy. And so does a Squadron Hawk, so let's keep this hand. All right. This is a much more of a slow start to what we had last game. Starts off with a 1/1 Death Touch. Any creature that is dealt damage by Death Touch will just automatically die. So quite a bit of a slower hand, but potential for huge card advantage with the Mentor of the Meek, allowing us to draw a ton of cards, especially Mentor of the Meek coupled with Raise the Alarm. We've got the Squadron Hawk, which means we're going to get flying damage, plus Squadron Hawk is free fuel for our Mentor of the Meek, because we're going to be able to fill up our hand with Squadron Hawks and keep playing them and keep drawing off a Mentor of the Meek. I mean, this is a pretty awesome situation that we're in here. All right, so I could go with 1 Squadron Hawk right now. We could also do the Stoneforge Mystic. The Wall of Omens for card draw. Let's go. We've got 7 cards in hand. I want to be careful, though. Let's go with a single Squadron Hawk, and we're only going to draw 1 Squadron Hawk off of it. We're actually in a situation where we're going to be having too many cards in our hand because of all the upcoming card draw that we'll have. But hopefully we're drawing into lands to also play, so that dumps up a little bit. Because if I Mentor of the Meek turn 3 and then turn 4 Raise the Alarm, I can draw 2 cards off of those 1/1 tokens, which is pretty huge. Looks like our opponent got a little bit mana screwed, which is not going to be good for them at all this game. Not at all. All right, we're going to throw down the Mentor of the Meek. And then swing him for 1 in the air and bring him down to 19. Now, if he can't kill our, even if he does kill our Mentor of the Meek, we've got a second. But if he can't kill our Mentor of the Meek, we're going to get potentially 2 card draws next turn. Although that might put us over cap. Actually, I think we'll be sitting at. This is going to put us 7. We're going to play down to 6. That brings us down. Yeah, this will actually be fine. We're man, we're gonna have such a full hand. For so long, and yeah, the opposing player unfortunately is a little bit screwed. That wouldn't have mattered in this matchup anyways, what he just discarded. Okay, so we can Raise the Alarm and draw 2 cards, which will refill up our hand. Go with one card draw for the squad. No, because we're gonna get squad. Yeah, let's just. Gonna flood the board soon. So let's raise the alarm. Token comes into play. Mentor of the Meek triggers. We activate it by paying 1. Draw a card. Second token into play. Activate it. 1. Draw a card. All right. There's another land. And we're gonna swing him in the air. I will not attack him with my Mentor of the Meek because he has the 1/1 Death Touch, which means that all he has to do is block my 2/2 with it. And even though he doesn't have enough damage to kill the Mentor of the Meek, the Death Touch effect will kill it. So obviously I don't want to hit him with that. Finally drew another land. Unfortunately, it's one that came into play tap. So our opponent is running a dual color deck. We knew that when we saw the white card discard, but our opponent running a dual color deck and getting mana screwed in the early game is pretty much the death blow for him. Now, it's funny though because we started off slow. We don't have a we just have a slow start, plain and simple. I think I just want to flood the board with flying, probably. This is gonna give us 2 cards though, and we can discard. We can discard down by playing the. Yeah, we'll be fine here. Okay, so we're gonna play this. Squadron Hawk comes into play. We trigger the effect, pay 1, draw a card. All right, and then we search. We use Squadron Hawk's ability to search through for another Squadron Hawk. Squadron Hawk is such a great card. We're sitting at 8, so we need to get rid of cards. We're not going to dump our creatures. I'm actually going to put both Darksteel Axes in play right now, which will bring us down to 6 cards. And then we are just going to hit him. I'll actually hit him with the 2 ground creatures too. So either he lets it all go through, or he trades his 1/1 for our 1/1. He lets it all go through, so he's down to 15. So we have a huge advantage in that he got mana screwed, but we haven't been doing a lot of in terms of damage. We have a great hand right now, but he's gonna Vicious Hunger, 2 damage to a creature, and then he gains 2 life. He's gonna kill off our Mentor of the Meek. Now remember, we do have that second one in hand. The big question right now is, do I want to play it immediately? Ooh, Kitesail Apprentice is nice. All right, so here we go. We're gonna Mentor of the Meek. Here's our second one. We're gonna Kitesail Apprentice. And next turn we'll be equipping the Kitesail Apprentice. Not gonna do it right now though, because we're gonna draw a card off of the Mentor. And then we're gonna swing with everything. Again, if he wants to block one of our 1/1s with his that has Death Touch, that's fine. Or he takes 4. So now that we have the Kitesail Apprentice, we can swing with a 4/2 next turn by attaching a Darksteel Axe to it. I'm assuming he's got more removal and stuff, so let's see what happens. Target opponent sacrifices a creature, you gain life equal to that creature's toughness. Okay, so we're just going to sacrifice one of our 1/1 ground creatures. No big deal. He gains 1 life. That's fine. Don't really mind. Alright, let me see here. This is going to pump up all of our creatures, and then we can also get the card draw plus equip our Kitesail. This is going to be a really good turn. Alright, so this is going to pump up all of our white creatures +1/+1. Okay, then we're going to draw a card off of the Mentor. And then I could play the second Kitesail, or I can equip this one. Let's just equip this one. I don't need to overextend. I mean, I clearly have the advantage in this game right now, so. And the opponent leaves the game. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do this. So we're swinging in the air for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 damage guaranteed to go through. We'll see if he blocks the 2/2. If he doesn't, it's 11. He does. So 9 damage goes through. Opponent is down to 5. Destroy target tapped creature. We're going to lose that. But we have fatal damage in play. So that's that. I don't expect any shenanigans, but you know, you never know. So better safe than sorry. I'm going to equip these 2. And why don't we go ahead and draw a card? This is all completely unnecessary. But you know, maybe he has something that doesn't cost anything that could clear our board. I'm laughing because the probability of that is slim to none. So we should probably just get on with it, huh? Let's go ahead and move into the combat phase and finish game number 2. GG. And now on to our final game for today. As much as I love the look at this hand, One land is not acceptable. We really can't. Okay. Alright, we can keep this. We can keep this. We have the Darksteel Axe. We've got the Kitesail Apprentice. You know, even though we've won the first 2 games, this deck, it still feels pretty weak to me. It's kind of a one-trick pony, and there's lots of things that can really get in the way of its game plan. It pretty much revolves around... so we could play this right now. I should save that for another creature. Play the Darksteel Axe right now. I want to save this for another creature that won't have flying. This guy's going to have flying next turn, so... yeah, it's kind of a one-trick pony. It revolves around just bypassing most of your opponent's blockers with flyers, because a majority of decks don't run flying heavy. A majority of decks run ground creature heavy. Just because typically ground creatures are stronger than flyers, because flyers have the benefit of flying, you know? Now he's going to play a Satire Wayfinder, which lets him reveal the top 4 cards of his library, put a land into his hand, and put the rest into his graveyard. I'm not too thrilled. I don't think that card's that great. Alright, so he's running at least blue-green. Might be running another color, but blue-green, we know that much. And we can equip him to give him flying, or we can play the Halls of Triumph. Let's just equip. Give him flying. Make him a 4/2, and then we'll swing for 4, bringing him down to 15. Yeah, so this deck is a one-trick pony in that if the opponent has flyers, it's going to really put a kink in the game plan. The other thing is that it's incredibly Weenie focused, with the exception of this card, the Seraph of the Masses. All of the cards in this deck, all of the creatures have like 2 or less health, basically. So any mass removal, mass damage across the board is going to wipe our board clean. Now we're playing against green and blue. What this tends to mean is, you know, we've seen lots of land grab and stuff like that, but it tends to mean things like a control big creature style deck. So we could be running, he might be running some control with some huge creatures. Yeah, control big creature style, you get the deal. All right, we're going to play a Kitesail plus our Hall of Triumph. So we might be seeing some bounce from him. We're definitely going to see some big green creatures. Hall of Triumph comes into play. We pick white. Swing for 5. Now, if he doesn't play a flyer soon, though, and there's 2 things here. Green has a lot of reach creatures. Reach creatures can block flying. The concept is like a spider with a web or an archer with a bow or whatever. Or blue creatures. A lot of blue creatures have flying as well. So his color set has the potential to block our flyers. Let's see if he has anything that can actually do it. He's going to play the Bident. Whenever creature control deals combat damage to a player, you may draw a card. Okay. Little does he know, he's a little screwed right here. We don't have the victory, but we do have a lot of damage. Or we could play the Seraph of the Masses right now. Now, let's just go with the Nimbus Swing. Gonna put this on this guy, so now he saved this as a blocker instead of attacking us. But, alright. We're gonna go ahead and swing him right now for 8 in the air, which will bring him down to 2. See if he can do anything fancy with his 1 green mana. Old school Magic days, I'd worry about a fog. Cost 1 green, prevents all combat damage. And that's it. There's nothing else I want to do, so pass it over. It was asking me if I wanted to switch my Darksteel Axe target, but obviously no. So this is a pretty big turn. Let's see if he's got anything to stop him from dying next turn. He needs to... Okay, I guess not. Replaced by an AI. So let's him... Okay, I see. Drew some cards, yada yada yada. He's gonna hit me, draw a card. But it doesn't matter because we've got Fatal in the air. He's got 1 ground creature plus a green untapped land. I don't think either one of those 2 things will save him. So, move into combat phase and secure the victory. That's 3 in a row. Not bad. I still don't think the deck's amazing though. But hey, it does the trick. All right, let me show you what we've got for our white Weenie aggro deck with flyer focus. We've got 4 of the Kitesail Apprentice, which gets pumped up when it's equipped. Again, want to run more equipments than we have. A Selfless Cathar to pump up our massive creatures. We've got the Trained Caracal, 3 of them in the deck at the moment. It's a 1/1 lifelink. Card's alright. The Stoneforge Mystic, pretty much the sole purpose of this is to search for the equipment for our Kite Sail Apprentice. That's the only reason it's in the deck. Wall of Omens as a creature, it also gives us card draw, and it's a bit of blocking. The Squadron Hawk, really, because Squadron Hawks is an amazing card. You can't go wrong with it. It's such an unbelievable card, it really is. The Nimbus Wings, to pump up our non-flyers, give them flying plus a +1/+2. Really, really nice on this card, for example. Gives you a 2 damage lifelink flyer. We have got Raise the Alarm for 2 1/1 soldier tokens in play, 2 of those in the deck. 2 of the Mentor of the Meeks, that is the cap on rare cards, so I can't possibly have more than 2 of these in the deck. That's what we've got. 2 of the Attendant Knights, 2/2 first strike, gets to put a 1/1 token in play when it drops into play. We do have 2 Arrest. This is our only control in the deck at the moment. I'm thinking of running some Righteous Blows, but right now I only have 1 of them, so I decided to not include them. But I can eventually have 4, and that might be a decent card for some removal from threats that opposing players have. So I may run 4 of those once I unlock them. Paragon of New Dawns pumps up our other white creatures. We can also give a white creature vigilance with it. The Seraph of the Masses, again, we've got so many small creatures that we'll have in play. Paying the convoke cost is typically pretty easy, and it can be kind of crazy when you get this out super early in the game. The Darksteel Axe to pump up our 1/1 Kite Sail Apprentice. And then the last card we've got in here is 2 of the Hall of Triumphs. Enters the battlefield, we choose a color, pumps up creatures of that color with +1/+1. It's a legendary artifact though, so you can only have 1 of it in play at a time, but I'm still running 2 anyways. There you go, guys, that's the deck. Thanks so much for watching this episode of Friday Night Magic. Stay tuned for more Duels 2015 coverage, another episode of FNM. I'll probably be featuring a new deck every week. Hopefully I'll unlock all of the cards by next Friday, and we'll get into some more interesting and deeper decks. Hope you have a fantastic day. Thanks so much for watching. Keep watching and keep owning.